For nearly half a century, one building stood alone as the undisputed king of the New York skyline. It was the face of the city, the soul of Manhattan, and the benchmark for every skyscraper on Earth. But in just the last few years, the hierarchy of the clouds has been completely rewritten. Today, that legendary icon has been pushed all the way down to number 8 on the list. A new wave of glass giants has taken over, including needle-thin pencil towers that sway in the wind and massive corporate headquarters powered by rushing waterfalls. These are the 10 tallest buildings in New York City, and the engineering secrets keeping them up are just as shocking as the price tags inside. Today, we are climbing from the bottom all the way to the 1,776-foot peak to see who really owns the sky. The skyline of New York City is not just a collection of buildings. It is a multi-billion-dollar race to the stars. For decades, the heights of these towers stayed mostly the same, but recently, a massive boom in engineering and global wealth has sent glass and steel screaming into the atmosphere. To understand how the city has changed, we need to look at the 10 tallest buildings in New York as they stand today. We begin our countdown at number 10 with 3 World Trade Center. Rising 1,079 feet above the streets of Lower Manhattan, this tower is a powerful symbol of how the city can rebuild after a tragedy. Finished in 2018, it was designed by the famous architect Richard Rogers. If you look at the outside, you will see a massive pattern of steel that looks like the letter K. This is not just for decoration, it is called external bracing. By putting the support on the outside, the engineers were able to remove almost all the columns from the inside. This means the people working in the offices have a totally clear view of the harbor and the Statue of Liberty. It is connected directly to the Oculus, which is a massive white transit hub that looks like a bird taking flight. Over 1 million people walk through this area every week, making it one of the busiest spots in the world. Next on our list at number 9 is the Bank of America Tower. Located right next to Bryant Park, this skyscraper reaches 1,200 feet into the air. When it was completed in 2009, it was a total game changer for the environment. It was the first skyscraper in the United States to get a platinum rating for being green. But the real secret is in the basement. Down in the lowest cellar, there are 44 massive tanks filled with water. At night, when the city is asleep and electricity is cheap, the building uses its own power plant to freeze that water into giant blocks of ice. Then, during the hot summer days, the building melts that ice to cool the air inside. This saves a massive amount of energy and keeps the city's power grid from crashing. It is like a giant battery, but instead of chemicals, it uses ice. Now we come to the legend at number 8, the Empire State Building. For 40 long years, this was the tallest building on the planet. It stands at 1,250 feet tall at its roof. The story of its construction is almost unbelievable. In 1930, workers were building it so fast that they finished more than 4 floors every single week. It took only 410 days to complete the whole thing. But did you know the top was originally designed for something else? The architects thought they could use the spire as a docking station for giant airships. They imagined passengers walking across a gangplank high in the clouds to enter the building. However, 40-mile-per-hour winds made it impossible to tie a giant balloon to the top of a skyscraper. Today, it remains the most famous building in the world, but it has officially been passed by 7 newer giants. At number 7, we head over to the west side to see 30 Hudson Yards. This tower reaches 1,268 feet into the sky and is the center of the biggest private construction project in American history. The craziest thing about this building is where it stands. It is actually built on a massive platform that floats over active train tracks. Engineers had to drive 300 giant concrete pillars into the ground between the moving trains just to hold the platform up. At the very top, you will find the edge. This is a triangular deck that sticks out 80 feet from the side of the building with nothing but glass under your feet. It is the highest outdoor sky deck in the Western Hemisphere, and if you are brave enough, you can even lean out over the city on its angled glass walls. Moving up to number 6, we have 270 Park Avenue. This is the global headquarters for J.P. Morgan Chase, and it stands 1,388 feet tall. This building is a marvel because of what happened before it was built. The owners actually tore down a 52-story skyscraper just to put this one in its place. It is now the tallest building in New York that is powered entirely by clean hydroelectric energy. The base of the tower is very unusual. Instead of a solid wall, it uses massive fan-shaped columns that lift the building 80 feet into the air. This creates a giant public plaza at the bottom, giving people a place to sit and relax in the middle of one of the busiest business districts on Earth. Before we move into the top 5 most massive towers in the city, if you are enjoying this vertical journey, please kindly like and subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more deep dives into the world's most incredible builds coming your way, and your support helps us keep the lights on and the cameras rolling. Starting our top 5 is the most controversial tower on the list, 432 Park Avenue. This perfectly square needle reaches 1,397 feet. It was once the tallest residential building in the world, but it has faced many problems. Because it is so thin, it sways several feet in the wind. This swaying once caused the elevators to get stuck and led to pipes bursting and flooding the luxury apartments. Residents even filed a lawsuit for $165 million because of cracks in the concrete facade. To stop the wind from pushing the building too hard, the architects left 2 floors completely empty every few levels. This allows the air to blow right through the building instead of hitting it like a solid wall. It looks like a giant white grid against the sky, but for the billionaires living there, it has been a very bumpy ride. At number 4 is One Vanderbilt. Standing 1,401 feet tall, this building transformed the area right next to Grand Central Terminal. It was built as part of a plan to modernize Midtown Manhattan. The developer spent over $200 million just to fix the subway tunnels underneath the building. The highlight of this tower is the Summit Observation Deck. It is filled with mirrors on the floors and ceilings, making it feel like you are walking through a cloud of glass. It even has glass boxes called levitation that stick out over the street, letting you look 1,000 feet straight down at the taxis on Madison Avenue. Now we reach the top 3, starting with the thinnest skyscraper in the world, 111 West 57th Street. This building is a staggering 1,428 feet tall, but it is only 60 feet wide at its base. That is a ratio of 24:1, making it look like a silver needle. To keep such a thin tower from falling over, the engineers used a massive weight at the top called a tuned mass damper. This 800-ton block of steel counteracts the sway of the wind. The outside is covered in thousands of terracotta tiles and bronze accents, giving it a look that reminds people of the classic skyscrapers from the 1920s. It is built right on top of the old Steinway Hall, which used to be a famous piano showroom. Coming in at number 2 is Central Park Tower. This is the tallest residential building on Earth, reaching 1,550 feet. It is so high that the apartments at the top have views that are usually only seen by pilots. Because it is so tall and skinny, the engineers had to build a 28-foot cantilever on the east side. This means part of the building actually hangs out over the building next door so that every resident can have a perfect view of Central Park. At the bottom, there is a massive Nordstrom store that takes up 7 floors. The penthouse at the very top was once listed for nearly $200 million, making it one of the most expensive homes ever built. Finally, at number 1, we have the king of the New York skyline, One World Trade Center. It stands at a symbolic height of 1,776 feet, which represents the year the United States was born. This building is designed to be the strongest and safest skyscraper ever made. It has a high-strength concrete core that is more than 2 feet thick, and the base is a massive windowless podium designed to protect against any kind of impact. Its shape is a series of 8 triangles that catch the light from every direction, making it look like a giant glowing crystal. It is more than just a building. It is a monument to the spirit of the city and a reminder that New York will always keep reaching higher. The New York skyline is a living thing that never stops changing. In just a few years, new proposed towers like 175 Park Avenue might even push these giants down the list. So, which of these buildings is your favorite? Would you be brave enough to stand on the glass floor of 30 Hudson Yards, or do you prefer the classic Art Deco style of the Empire State Building? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts on these massive projects. And if you want to stay up to date on the biggest construction stories from around the globe, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more.